couple of greats, Mason Crosby, Kordell Stewart with us at Pro Days, NFL Pro Days, Big 12. And, well, we'll start with you guys are here to play golf.
That's right.
Bridgestone hat on.
Yeah, that's
Tell them about it.
I'm an accidental brand ambassador. I like to say accidental because sometimes I shouldn't be a part of it. But, seriously, I'm a brand ambassador with the brand. Play with the Tour B RXS golf ball. They also came out with some irons, the 221 CBs and the drivers and all that fun stuff. So we're here for the Pro Arrivals tournament.
You guys a 3-round deal, is that right?
Yeah,
3-round deal?
Yep, we'll play 54 holes, and it starts tomorrow in the wind. So.
There's wind.
Yeah,
a
little wind.
Been here yesterday. I was walking to my car just to go get something.
Did you make it?
It barely. I dodged a couple of windshields, but this lady goes, "This is like Chicago."
Yeah,
like playing in Chicago.
It's crazy.
So it's a 54-hole tournament.
Yes.
Where are you playing at? Because there's God-forsaken beautiful courses everywhere.
We're playing up north at Fields Ranch East, where they'll host the PGA Championship.
Yep.
The women's this summer, and then I think the men's in 27.
Yeah.
And so a field of 48 former and current football guys, NFL guys, and it's going to be good. There's going to be some good, bad, and ugly out there, I think.
Well, especially with the wind. Even if you're what's your handicap?
Handicap.
Okay.
Straight up.
Mason, as a kicker, you're pretty accurate, right?
I try to be, yeah. And I think, it's I had a lot of experience. You mentioned Chicago, dealing with wind there, dealing with wind in Lambeau Field. So I think I get a little more comfortable whenever it's blowing. It's like you just, you got to lock in a little bit more, focus in a little bit more. It's a little tough when you're on that green, though, and that ball is wobbling.
So what do they call it? It's not rotation. What are they oscillating?
Oscillating.
Let
Yes,
me tell you guys something. You can talk all this stuff you want, but when that thing is howling from the northeast side and you hit it in that direction like a draw, you're a right to left person.
Exaggerates.
It goes 100 miles per hour. I mean, you can't. He tells you to aim in the bushes, literally out of bounds.
Like you're aiming out of bounds to get it inbound.
To get it to come back inbound.
I love it.
You can't control it.
No.
You can try, but you can't.
Mason, why are kickers the best golfers normally? I mean, I don't know if you remember Al Del Greco back in the day.
Stick.
He used to, like, in the Pebble Beach, like, he would dominate. Or, like, anytime you saw, like, a celebrity golf tournament where there's guys that are like, I'm just drinking beers. And I met the dude from, Melrose Place. Al Del Greco's like, I'm going 19 under. I don't know what you guys are
That's
doing.
right. You're going out there to win. And, guys like Kordell and every other football player would probably say just because we have so much time on our hands and don't actually do anything.
Don't forget about the quarterbacks.
The quarterbacks are good,
you got
too.
The Mark Rippons of the world.
There was a Rippon. There was a time when like Steve
quarterbacks and
Bratkowski,
kickers.
back in old school.
Well, I think you can just say like quarterbacks and kickers probably the best athletes on the field.
I've always thought that, especially if you're from Georgetown.
Exactly, being from Texas as well. Exactly, So I know how to grind in this wind a little bit.
Don't forget about Sterling Sharp.
Oh, yeah.
Marshall Falk.
Was he a stick? Yeah.
Marshall
Marshall Falk.
You know who was addicted to golf when he was an NFL player was Emmitt Smith.
He
took himself from bad to where he got to be a pretty good player. Yeah.
Patrick Peterson's pretty good.
Patrick Peterson's a great player.
Jerome is playing well.
Absolutely.
He's hit a nice few great shots out of playing in the Tahoe tournament at
Nice.
the end of the year. Those guys play – Brian Urlacher's here. He's another one of the good sticks. Aaron Rodgers, he's not here, but he's another good stick quarterback. Right?
So some of these guys are playing here with you guys this weekend, right?
Yeah, John Elway's going to be up there. Urlacher, Matt Ryan's playing.
God, that wind's going to be blowing even harder tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
going to be. Yesterday's practice round was the windiest. Literally ball blowing off the tee before you're hitting your drive. And I don't know if I've ever seen that before. It was insane.
How much does being competitive at your levels in college and in the pros, how much do you need that fix by playing golf and being competitive in golf, whether you're struggling in the game or not?
I just think mentally everything has been such a challenge playing football. Where you have to – everything is time-oriented, right? So when the season ends, you probably take a month off, maybe 2 months, and then you start back up. And then you have that springtime where you're working out. You got the maxes on your bench presses and your squats, and you have to run the 40. And then you get that small window, and then all of a sudden now you have to go to camp.
Yep.
All of those small pieces of let's just say jewels that you get. It's the same thing in golf. You want to work with your chipping, you want to work with your putting, you want to work with your short game, you want to work with your long irons, your drivers, and you break it up incrementally the same way you do with a season in how you practice. So you take that philosophy in your psyche and you try to apply it, because it goes from moving parts to now nothing moving at all but you. And if something is off just a little bit, you don't know where it's going to go.
It's a decimal of where you hit it on the club face.
Even less, yes.
Exactly.
Yeah, your elbow flies out or whatever.
So that's the good thing for the pros. Am I right?
Yeah, and those
Mason?
competitive juices. I mean, you stand over a 4 or 5 foot putt, and it's like you almost find yourself wondering, like, why does this feel like such a big moment?
Like you're trying to hit it into a smaller hole than the ball is.
Yeah, it's like, all right, let's just lock in. You do, you dive back into your breathing. You do all your stuff. And so I think some of that it's really good to just kind of keep that competitive juice going. It was always something that I did playing, in the NFL as well. Like going and playing golf was it was downtime, but it was also like it was a way to practice on how to lock in that moment and have those moments of just really locked in focus. Yep. And I've never had a bad day on the golf course. I've had bad rounds, but you're outside. You're usually a beautiful place. Like you're able to even if it's windy, green grass, and you're out there getting to hang out. And I love the relationship side of it. We get to hang out with guys that we don't see all the time, and how the pro has set it up. They gave us an awesome locker room up there at the Omni, where the PGA headquarters is, and it felt awesome. You go in there and you're like, man, I'm going back into a locker room, and it's like everybody's in there doing their thing. You had a buffet lunch. I'm like, oh man, we're on the road. It's an away game right now.
Yeah, big time. It's like with the game, especially with the football players in particular, because everything's physical with us, right? Mm-hmm. It's you have to start processing everything too. It's like it turns into a mindset of how do I see it, trust it, and react to it, right? Same thing with Bridgestone, right? And I'm about to name drop it.
He's got a little plug.
I'm about to drop it, right? So it's like when, Jason Day with the golf ball, you see the little logo on the side.
Yep.
Have the mindset, right? The outer lay of that design that's on the golf ball, the orange, it indicates seeing what you need to see to then identify where you need to hit it, to then reacting to what you're doing. It's the same thing for a place kicker. It's the same thing for a punter. Yeah. It's the same thing for a field goal, when Mason does his thing. It's like if the wind is blowing really hard from the right, he sees the flag on the uprights. Yep. He knows how his trajectory needs to be in order to make sure it doesn't move too much. It's like lowering the flight on your golf ball when you're actually hitting those shots going into the greens. He does the same thing with football with me. Yep. If I'm throwing those hitch routes, or I got to know where the defender isn't and throw it to that spot. So it becomes everything that we do actually indirectly on the football field and how we prepare, and it's identical to whether it's locker room to how we prepare and how we play. It's just identical same.
I think there is also something about golf, and all the stories of like Tiger trying to chase perfection and do all of that. Like we played football at a high level.
Yes.
All these guys, and like golf is the most humbling game in the world. So
ever.
As professional
it's the most
athletes,
exhilarating and yet gut-wrenching, frustrating.
You've gotten to the top of it all, and then like you can go on the golf course and you're like, I know what I can do, but it just can go really bad, and quickly. I think that keeps you chasing. Yeah. Like the chase is worth it.
If you miss that first 4-foot putt for par, you're going to miss 3 or 4 more. You make it, it's
you got to rebound quick.
You guys are both Colorado Buffaloes.
That's right.
What does it feel like now in the renaissance of this program with Coach Prime and the excitement that's around it, and having a defending Heisman Trophy winner, having probably definitely 2 top 5 picks in this draft, and some really good players out here today.
Yeah. You want me to go? Yeah, so it's been awesome. It's been awesome to just have Colorado's name back out in the media and in the public eye. And, Prime's doing just such a great job, and he's doing it the right way. It's like I want to have good student athletes that do it the right way. You're going to kind of do it the way that it needs to be, done, the Colorado Buffalo way. And, it's been awesome seeing them back, in the Big 12 Conference, because it's like that's where all my memories are is, coming through this conference. And, it's going to be fun to see where Travis and Shedeur go, and what their journey is going to be. And now I'm excited to see Prime, without his son, without the guys that he brought with him, to see what he does and how he builds it there at Colorado.
He can't just make another one for at least 18 years.
Nothing else coming out.
And the crazy part about that is he's been with his kids for so long.
Yeah. Since the high school in Dallas. Yeah.
I just remember when I was in Baltimore for the few years, he came out of retirement. And I remember when he used to come in with his family, I would see Shedeur and Shiloh, and I'm talking about little bitty
ankle
little
biters.
Kids. Oh, seriously. I mean, well-mannered, good-looking kids as we see them now, and to see them travel with their dad the entire way, going to Jackson State to then going to Colorado and transitioning this institution back to winning ways, it's pretty remarkable. And if you think of Travis Hunter being a Heisman Trophy winner, remember, we had Rashaan Salaam.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so to be able to see the greatness be recognized again at that institution, we now have 2 Heisman Trophy winners.
Yep.
No one really talks about that. And there's not too many institutions around the country that can say they have 2 Heisman Trophy winners. And to be able to have that kind of conversation, and Coach Prime has his hands all in the middle of it, it's beyond good because it's relatable for us as former players in the National Football League. And he knows how to give to these young men in ways that he knows he wish he may have gotten it when he was playing.
Yeah.
Whether it's the meals, whether it's the attention to the details of, showing everyone on social media, because now social media is a big thing now, right?
Yeah. Mm.
Look at the GPA. I mean, he loves to emphasize how the mark is being upgraded over and over again within the same program that he's in, with the grades going up all the time, and it having GPAs that's like 3 whatever to 4.0, and it's pretty good, man, because kids can get distracted now. You got NIL, you have at home class you can take
portal, people tampering,
all of that, and for him to hold on to it and have a strong hold on it to the point where he has Rick George as our AD, has his vision in his mind. It's pretty impressive.
I think that people think of Deion when he was at FSU. He's an FSU grad in the prime to all the stuff, Atlanta,
That's right.
And then the 49ers, Cowboys, eventually Washington and Buffalo. And I think everyone just thought that that's who he would be as a coach. He's not. I love watching, in a way, I love listening to his press conferences. Mm-hmm. First of all, I kind of like his how he speaks. I have been so happy that he seems to have the grit, the foundation, the discipline, and I think a lot of people thought they'd never see that with him, but he's learned from who he was, and I think he's done a great job.
But
no question.
Is it kind of like, though, like, and you played with him, is this like Prime, and like it's like Bruce Wayne and Batman? There's like the front facing thing that, especially when he was a player, there was kind of the front facing bravado. But I mean, you hear about him, and like every teammate he ever had said, like, this guy will go to war with you, and he's
relatable, as I said earlier.
Yeah.
As being pundits of the game, right? And you having to cover everything. You have your conventional reasoning and wisdom, and you have your unconventional wisdom that we never truly tap into. It becomes an odd situation when you see a Kordell Stewart, if you will, being able to catch it as good as everyone. Mm-hmm. He throws it better than half of them, but yet he could run it just as good as the backs you have on the field, and he can punt it. So now how do you cover that? How do you truly, in a conventional way, say how great that talent is, but you have a tendency to want to pigeonhole it to try to determine how you grade it, but you can't pigeonhole it. Leave it alone and let it be. And I think Prime has done a phenomenal job of being his most authentic self, to where it forces you, if you're not unconventional in your thinking, to become unconventional when you're processing it. Because the words that we choose to use is not what you say, it's what you don't say when covering it, but is as authentic as it. You can't even put it in one corner. You have to say he's expressing himself as I know we would talk behind the scenes, but yet we'll get on the mic and tell you something different. How you guys talk behind the scenes, and you get on the mic and ask the question differently. He does it exactly the way he wants to say it, without maybe saying 2 or 3 words that can make him go another way. But he keeps it as good as he can.
You brought up your career, and I find it funny when I read all these draft pundits and they're trying to tell you what they think Travis Hunter is. To me, that's the dumbest thing you can do with Travis Hunter. Why didn't you just let him be Travis Hunter and then clean up what needs to be cleaned up? That's the simplest thing.
Let me say it this way, because I'm gonna give Mason a run. I don't want to hog it, because
you keep going. I love hearing you talk.
Here's the thing. there's too many damn gurus.
Yeah.
Okay? When we're in Little League, we're just coaching. In middle school, we're just coaching. We get to high school, we're coaching. College, we're creating the greatest plays and the most fun you can ever see. We get to the pros, it's the same coaches. Well, all of a sudden, you just forget how to coach. And no one wants to coach. They just wants to give you the playbook, get their money, and let you go. They don't want to take the time. You're not teaching them anything. You have to coach them because they already know. That's why they got there. That's why they're so talented. Well, all of a sudden we get to the league. Unless you're working on your own and doing your own thing, players like the Travises, the Cordells, even the who is it, Taysom Hills of the world, the Lamar Jacksons, if you don't have the right type of coach around, you can screw it up. Because the talent is so good, now we have to say, well, it's not good enough in the National Football League. We just want you to play cornerback. Yeah. Really? He's a Heisman Trophy winner. There's a reason why he was so great doing what he's doing. Now he gets to the league. So then you say, okay,
you want to neuter him or something.
Seriously, it's almost like you're saying because the money only subject you to be able to, get this amount, you only can do this much. Stop it. I didn't let Coach Cowher stop me from being myself. I didn't let Kevin Gilbride stop me from being myself. That's why when we were getting hurt early in '95, I was like, Coach, whatever we need to do to let me help, I'll help. They didn't ask me to play receiver. I voluntarily said, I'll help out. And my very first play from scrimmage was 5 wide receiver set. We had Neil O'Donnell next to Yancey Thigpen on the 2 receiver side. We had 3 on this side. Quarterback draw. No one was in the middle of the football field. It's 3rd and 15. I scrambled for 19 yards to get a first down. The next week, we play against Cleveland. I scramble this way and run back the other way, throw it to Ernie Mills in the back of the end zone, touchdown. Now, that's 2 quarterback plays. So then I start beating Rod Woodson in practice and Cornell Lake in practice and, Willie Williams. And before you know it, Myron Cope calls me Slash. The late Myron Cope.
Absolutely.
And before you know it, it becomes a phenomenon. And then no one talks about it, but we're seeing every quarterback in the draft. 15 of them are athletic quarterbacks, not just black or white. They're athletic quarterbacks. And all of a sudden, they become gurus today. You better start saying my name. I'm going to get crazy. Right? I need some money.
Hey,
reparation is real.
Slash, they've been chasing, trying to get you again.
They just need to get me to come talk about it.
But they won't, they don't want to admit it. Like, you're right. They don't admit it.
They drive me nuts.
But again, it's like with Travis.
I can't take it.
With Travis Hunter.
They won't say it.
I can't help it. It drives me nuts.
Just let him go.
Oh, my God.
Let him do what it is.
And I'm sitting here and I'm looking at this mess. And I'm saying to myself, you guys are screwing the game up so bad to where you're subjecting these great players coming from high school, college, to either have to change or not even be themselves because you don't know how to coach it. But you've coached it before, but you get to the National Football League and you lose your mind.
What if somebody in Japan 10 years ago had been like, listen, Shohei, just pitch.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yes.
Exactly right.
Just seriously.
Do that. Yeah.
And instead of changing them, and it gets to the point where if you can't change to fit what only they understand, you're the problem. That's not the case.
Yeah, try to put a circle in a square, square in a
100%.
circle.
You've seen too many guys and players, and probably in all sports, men and women, that if you get kind of pigeonholed into a certain spot or you get on the wrong team, that it just everybody that gets drafted should be like they're a good player.
Yeah.
So if you know how to coach them, just like Kordell's saying, they should have success at the next level. But it's the creativity, the pieces where it's just all right, we're just going to put you in this one spot, and you're going to do that for us so that we don't have to think about anything else.
They're driving me nuts.
It makes total sense. I love that.
I just want to let you guys know they're driving me nuts.
No.
I can tell.
Oh, they're driving me nuts.
You hit numerous clutch field goals, 50 whatever yards. You beat the Cowboys a handful of times.
I know.
No, that's fine. Look, I was a Washington.
Fine.
Sorry, laugh I gave
let me tell you, I was in the press box covering the game where Rogers threw that damn dot.
Jared Cook.
I remember that. Was that the one on the sideline where he was almost?
It was like had about that much room to make the play.
The only person in the league at the time who could have made that throw was Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, yeah.
The only one.
It was ridiculous.
Absolutely. And then, no offense to you, but as a lifelong Cowboy fan, I was like, I hope he has a just terrible moment.
That moment.
Yeah, but you came out and just now. I mean, those moments.
Mason is the man.
I just feel, and honestly, being in this building, it's I see the Cowboys logo. Grew up here in Texas. X's. I mean, I feel really comfortable like with Cowboys stuff around from that those experiences.
You owned them.
I'm just like, hey, yeah, this is.
He did own them.
But that experience, that was the longest I think in the NFL I ever spent on a field in one continuous moment because they're reviewing the play, like all those things. And we talked about golf earlier. Like I was doing these 30-second like check-ins where I'm like, all right, are they done with the review? And then it's like, nope. All right, I got to go back, kind of reset, and then get back into that moment. And I think I was on the field for like 4 minutes, and it's like, all right, let's just get this kick over with.
Did you ever?
They iced me without even having, they were trying to.
If you don't mind me bringing up the Hail Mary, and being in that moment, take me through that play. And then, did you know he caught it? Where were you? Michael make the great diving catch.
And let me say this: I rewinded wanting to see if something else is going to happen, and it keeps happening over and over again the same exact way. I'm like, that's pretty freaking impressive.
Yep.
But the series prior to that, we're driving down, and I remember trying to get into the end zone early, and I kind of had it tucked in my arm, extended, and the ball drops right in front. So I'm like, God dang it. This was, and the clock is we're in the fourth quarter. So I get to the sideline, and Coach Neuheisel always had this thing with me, take the towel and put it over your head and act like nothing else exists but where you are. So I get under my towel, and all of a sudden, Coach Neuheisel comes underneath, and he said, let me tell you something. This is going to be the greatest comeback in college football history. So he comes from under, and I'm kind of start picking my nose with the towel or whatever, and he comes back under there again. And he said, did you hear what I just said? And I said, I heard you. So he walks away, and he's telling the band members, as I said early on, behind me, this is going to be the greatest comeback in college football history. And just as he says it, they don't get the first down. They have to punt it. So they punt it to Chris Hudson. He catches it like inside the 15-yard line or so. All of a sudden, our first play is a dig route to Michael Westbrook, something that we had to draw up from the same formation from the tip, from the Hail Mary pass. Yeah. He catches it. We hurry up. We spike it. I'm running to the sideline as if there's something else to call. There's 6 seconds left on the clock. Rick Neuheisel said, what the hell? What are we doing? What are we doing? So he's like, call tip left or whatever. And all of a sudden, I drop back, and the late Rashaan Salam and Tony Birdie, I think it was Trevor Price. Trevor Price was the defense end. He was number 8. On the left-hand side. He used to play for the Broncos. He ends up diving down. They throw him into the ground. I get around, and I throw as far as I can. So, mind you, in practice in Colorado, we would practice that once a week, just the guys getting in position to me throw it as far as I can. So I would throw it the same distance, but we're at altitude. So we get to Michigan. We're, sea level, maybe a little bit lower. And I throw it with tape on my finger. I still have the scars on my finger, as you can see right here. I still have the scars on my finger right there, all that good stuff. And I throw it with the tape on my finger because I threw the Hail Mary at halftime. And if I don't have the tape on my finger, I don't know if I have that grip. So I unleash it, and it looked like it goes out of the stadium. And all of a sudden, it starts coming down, and I see something coming from my left really fast. Blake Anderson's in the front. He's kind of like the guy that's the tipper, if you will. Ball goes up in the air, and I just see this big body come out of nowhere, and he catches the football.
He was a big body.
I look to the sideline. Everybody runs on the football field. And the referees, and they don't go like this. They go, they're like extending so far, like they're about to pull their shoulders out of place. And I run down, and I see Mike at the bottom of the pile, and everybody start grabbing me. I say, don't you touch me, because I don't want to go to the bottom of the pile. I don't know if I'll make it, because I started cramping. And I mean, I'm getting dressed, and Rick passed by me. He said, what did I tell you? I said, man, you're too much for your own good, too. I said, you're too much, man.
That's awesome.
And I'm just saying, man, it's something we talk about over and over. Anyone in the Big Ten?
Yep.
I don't care. Anyone outside of Michigan State, Purdue, Indiana, any other institution that's people that went to their school. Kordell, you're an honorary graduate student here in Indiana.
I love
Iowa. I'm like, thank you. So I have so many degrees.
Free drinks in Columbus for the rest of your life.
Thing forever, bro.
So good.
Greatest game of my life.
Kordell Stewart, Colorado. Mason Crosby, Colorado. And give me again the weekend coming up with the golf tournament real quick.
Yeah, it's the Pro Rivals Open. It's the Pro FTB, so football only. And there's multiple events. They just announced they're playing one in Chicago with basketball and hockey. And so this is a series of events with all 4 major sports leagues. And, we'll be up at Fields Ranch East.
Beautiful place.
Yeah, playing in the wind, battling it out, getting our competitive juices rolling on the golf course. So come on out. There's still tickets available. You can come. What do we got? Team up with us. Yep, here it is, the Pro. On X, it's Pro Rivals Open. On Instagram, the Pro Rivals Open, or Facebook, the Pro Rivals Open. Go to ProRivalsOpen.com. You can get tickets. Come on out. Bring the kids. We'll be having a good time. If it's not going well, we'll just probably be engaging with fans and and laughing and having a good time.
Reminiscing, camaraderie, and all that. Man, it was a great pleasure to have both of you. Thanks for
thanks
dropping
for
by.
having us.
Yes.
Kordell Stewart, Mason Crosby. This is 365 Sports at Big 12 Pro Days in Frisco.